You have most likely heard about mistletoe having pagan and ancient Celtic Druid origins and associations, and also that when you meet under mistletoe, you're supposed to kiss. So this installment of my 12 Days of YuleTube series is going to talk about mistletoe and if it was really linked to the Ancient Druids. Díobh Gwine Ushlag Fáilte, hello and welcome. It's Misha Amy the Crafty Kyla, and I am doing 12 Days of YuleTube, a seasonal series looking at some history and folklore of some Yuletide traditions. If this is the first video you're seeing in the series, do check out the link below or the tagged video at the end of this video so you can go back and look at the other episodes. So it's quite a widespread and documented tradition to use mistletoe along with holly and ivy to decorate during the Yuletide period. Typically, mistletoe is hung over doorways or in the centre of the ceiling, and people get very giddy meeting under it or watching other people meet under it. Mistletoe and holly were also worn as little emblems of luck. Mistletoe is also widely said to be an aphrodisiac, however, do not eat it. It is not for human consumption and can be toxic depending on the dose. There's lots of associated beliefs with getting kissed under the mistletoe. Some people say that kissing under the mistletoe will mean that those two people are going to get married. Other people say to be kissed under mistletoe is very good luck. One particular account or story that I found on Dukas from Galway says that people put up mistletoe in the centre of the ceiling, and the intention was that if a man walked through the mistletoe or walked under the mistletoe, that one of the daughters in the house was going to marry them. In this particular family, there were two daughters and they were twins. They were fighting about who would marry the man that would come through the door and walk under the mistletoe, when lo and behold, two men came in the door and the four of them all got married. A record from Lucan Co Dublin talks about how you can avoid getting kissed under the mistletoe. One person notes that they avoided getting kissed under the mistletoe by sitting by the fire while the dancing was going on. The perks of being a wallflower. There's also a lot of references in the school's collection in the National Folklore Commission that's housed in UCD in Dublin about mistletoe being linked to the ancient Celtic Druids. There's a few different references to Druids cutting mistletoe off oak trees, because mistletoe is actually a parasitic plant, so it doesn't grow in the ground. It actually saps the life and energy from the trees around it, or that it grows around. So there's a couple of different references to the Druids using a golden axe in a ritual to cut mistletoe off a tree and then offering up a white milk bull as a sacrifice, and various references to the Druids using mistletoe as good luck talismans and emblems, sharing it around the community and decorating with it. Now, usually when I come across something about something or other being related to ancient Celtic Druids and Druidic tradition and ancient Celtic anything, I am instantly dubious. And that's because there are so many claims from antiquarians and various other people, Robert Graves, talking about all these various different traditions and practices and things we know for certain came from ancient Celtic people. And generally, it's a big pile of However, mistletoe is one of those things that we actually have indication from ancient written sources that it was associated with Druids. It is worth noting as well, it wasn't only ancient Celtic Druids that used mistletoe, but there's also references to ancient Greek and Roman peoples, as well as Norse people using mistletoe at this time of year. This would have been used as a good luck token, as well as in healing and ritual uses. There are references, as I said, to Druids using mistletoe. Pliny the Elder is one example. Pliny was a Roman naturalist and wrote extensively on various different things. But in one of his works, he describes how the Druids would take a golden axe to remove ritualistically mistletoe from oak trees, cutting it with a gold knife or axe and catching the falling mistletoe with a white cloth. He also references that Druids believed that mistletoe could cure infertility as well as many other ailments, and that it was particularly powerful if it was gathered during ceremony and on the 6th night of the moon. Other ancient sources like Virgil, who was a Roman poet, talks about mistletoe, its associations with Druids, and also its tendency to grow around entries to the underworld or otherworld. So in fact, we do actually have various different sources linking mistletoe to the Druids and other ancient people, and these sources indicate that this was a particularly special and important plant at this time of year. If you're interested in learning more about mistletoe and its associations, I will leave some links in the description below so you can read more about it. In particular, there's a really interesting article from the Smithsonian which talks about how mistletoe actually evolved from sandalwood. So definitely go check that out. But for now, Sinead, that is it. Gurv míle maith go teacht. Thank you very much for coming. Let me know what you thought about this video and the information in the comments. Do you tend to hang mistletoe this time of year in hopes of getting lucky, both literally and figuratively? Or do you avoid it because you have pets and it can be toxic? Thank you very much for watching, and slán go fóill. I will see you soon.